After following Libby and Abby's case pretty much from the very beginning, I really felt that I had to have my say about the video that's been released. So, many of you are probably fully aware now that the full 43-second video, filmed by Libby German, has now been publicly released. And I'll play that shortly. Now, before I do continue with this video, I have one request, and that is, if you are here for any reason other than for the girls and their families, I respectfully am going to ask you to click off my video right now. And there are other creators who have put out this 43-second video, and you can find it on their channel. Now, before I continue with this video, I'm just going to ask respectfully that if you're here for any reason other than for the girls and their families, that could you please go click off and go watch this on another channel. I feel so strongly that in this instance, with this video, it shouldn't be about that man. It shouldn't be about his appeal. His name shouldn't even be mentioned. So I'm really hoping that people will respect that and we won't see his name mentioned in the comments, and we won't see anything about him in the comments of this video, because it's about Libby and Abby. And, you know, the first time I listened to this, I was quite taken back. I wasn't expecting to have such a strong reaction to this video. But at the end of the day, this is the first opportunity to really hear the girls' voices. And we all know what's going on at the time of this video. We all know what occurred after this video was recorded. So it is a powerful video. And I just want to give credit to Libby German for her amazing forethought in taking this video. You know, she wanted to be able to be someone who solved crimes when she grew up. And she achieved that goal. Both these girls were heroes. Now, this obviously doesn't have the improved audio on it. I didn't hear the more quieter bits, and maybe on listening a few more times it will become easier to hear. But, you know, when I think of Abby asking Libby not to leave her up here, and knowing that the choice to stay by her best friend cost her her life, because she was prepared to lose her life for her best friend. Both those girls are heroes. So, with that in mind, let's have a look at this video.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Bye. See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Bye.
So I slowed it down to 0.7 for the second time that I played it, just so we could see a bit more of what was going on. You know, it's hard to put into words what I'm feeling right now for those beautiful little girls. And my heart breaks for their family. I can't imagine how it must have felt for them watching this video. But I just want to talk about what I see in this video. We hear Libby talking about, there's no path there, so we have to go down this way. Now, I obviously don't know Libby. I don't know what her voice normally sounds like. But to me, it sounds like a teenager who is nervous, trying to sound like they are just having a normal conversation, but trying to communicate to their friend in a way that lets them know we've got to do something. It's not something that you would hear as a normal part of the discussion. And, I mean, we know Libby had been to that bridge before. I mean, at the end of the day, the bridge is a dead end. Those girls would have gone across that bridge planning on turning around and heading back across the bridge. So the way that Libby is saying it sounds to me like she's trying to give the impression that there was a previous conversation about once we get over the bridge, this is where we go. But it was more signalling to Abby, this guy, there's something wrong with this guy, we've got to get out of here, we have to go down here. Unfortunately, things escalated so quickly that there was no chance of escape. It says so much for Libby that she managed to stay so level-headed and not sound panicked, while at the same time giving cues to her best friend for this is what we should do. The other thing we see in the video is, of course, Abby dashing past Libby. And as she does, you can hear her breathing. That's not heavy breathing because she's just run a little ways across the bridge or anything. These girls were sporty girls. They played sports throughout the year. They played wind instruments. They were fit girls. What you hear there is fear. Well, you can't really tell without the enhanced audio. It would seem pretty clear that Abby would have had to have said, "Don't leave me," before she ran past Libby. meaning that it was probably before that also that one of them said he's got a gun. So the heavy breathing was no doubt fear that this guy was closing in on them and he had a gun. I can't imagine how those poor girls must have felt at that time. You know, I look at their faces and I listen to their voices, such innocence and, you know, just a day out. From what we've heard, you know, before they got there, so many of their friends from school had already been hanging out there on the trails. They were just doing what everyone else was doing. And it ended so badly. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to overanalyze this video. I just wanted to share the things that I see just from one or two viewings. And just recognise that both these girls were heroes. You know, for Libby to have the forethought to pull her phone out and film this guy, and then for her to not give away the fact that she was afraid, but instead speak to her friend like, well, you know, this ends here, so we'll have to go down here. Almost like it had been a previous conversation, when I think we know that the plan would have been to turn back and head back over the bridge. The bank either side of the bridge there was so steep that it would have been a struggle to head down and then head back up again, because you would have had to have headed back up because the creek was in the way. So the only way back to the other side, back to the trails, was across the bridge. So it was never any intention of continuing on from the bridge. So that comment was only made because of this guy. We know that they weren't there for an extended hike. They had to be back near enough to the entrance to meet Derek when he came through. There wasn't a specific time set. It was a simple arrangement that Derek would phone Libby when he was approaching the area, and they would make their way back to the entrance of the trails and meet him to get a lift home. I'm so conscious of the fact that this is real life for the families of these girls, and I just hope that this video being released isn't going to be too painful for them. Hopefully for the German family, the distraction of Kelsey's new little girl will be something they can focus on, and they can ignore that this video has been released. They can ignore the legal stuff that's going on. But, you know, on the off chance that anyone from either of these families is listening to this video, I just want to share the love and just say that, you know, you're in my heart. These girls were beautiful, and they deserved to be able to share their legacy with the world. So on that note, I'm going to finish there, and I'm not going to use my usual outro. I'm just going to play the video one more time for those people who want to see it once more.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Bye.